camera a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it could come down a little bit.
Down?
Like down, but then the
camera.
pan,
Yeah.
panned,
No, I think I understand where
panned.
you're going wrong.
Yeah, and then if we,
like that,
yeah. There we go. Yeah, that looks terrific.
It was like way high. I just like.
Yeah.
Set it from memory.
Yeah, I think it looks terrific.
It's way better.
I think so.
You see my whole shirt?
Yeah, is that a new one?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, I think I wore it once before. I'm gonna try and make this one last longer and not dry it every time.
No drying.
Yeah.
Oh man, is it time to do this thing? Ooh, new Modelo. All right. Hey, everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching our Thursday Primetime Guitar Live 1 hour power hour. Primetime.
Live.
Chris, we have much to talk about tonight, but it seems that someone named Shark Air has already decided to get in on the snarky comments.
Oh,
I don't
good.
think he quite grasped what the snarky comments were. They're comments that already came in. We don't need any more. But he asks, or maybe he's legitimately wondering. He asks with a bunch of question marks, so we know there's a bunch of questions. We know it's a question.
Before, so he knows
why on earth do you not put pickup covers on your guitars?
Because not everybody likes pickup covers on their guitars.
But the fact of the matter is that to say why on earth do we not put? We do.
We do.
Not on every single one of them.
No.
But we do.
And do you know what was a very hot mod to do on your guitar at one point?
Mm-hmm.
Pick off the pickup covers.
Yeah. I think every time we use P90s, we use pickup covers.
We do. That's absolutely true.
I would say half the time we put humbuckers on, we use pickup covers.
Probably about half. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to say why on earth do we not? That's just snarky for the sake of being snarky.
And like I said, some people prefer pickups without pickup covers. They feel that's just too much metal.
Well, or they don't like them.
Or they don't like them. Or they like the zebra thing. Or they like the white thing. Or they like
whatever.
The black bobbins. Or they like whatever. Yeah. I've seen him comment on that before. So
really, if you think we don't put pickup covers on guitars, you don't know what you're talking about because the majority of the guitars that we build have pickup covers on them. So
even the humbuckers.
That's
probably
right.
50% of the humbuckers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and I think that's totally an aesthetic thing, And if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't.
And who cares, really?
And really, honestly, I don't know what the percentage of guitars that we sell that get the pickup swapped out. 25% maybe.
Yeah.
I think pickup swaps are like the number one mod to do.
Why on earth? When you ask that question, that just lets me know that you haven't been on the website and looked at the hundreds of guitars that we've made.
Yeah, the gallery of guitars.
Because there's just as many with covers as without.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going to start mounting all the P90s without covers just to irritate him.
Just to irritate someone, whoever that is.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Wonder who you suppose that is. Like, that's probably someone we know.
Probably.
That's their alter ego. It's probably Dylan from Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store.
Yeah, I don't know how he feels about
I don't know either.
Pickup covers.
Yeah. So, so Chris Bullis says, here's my snarky comment. Why on earth does he care? That beats me. Let's take a super chat from our good buddy Brian, our good buddy Brian Duncan. He says, I'll bet if you ask nice, they'll put covers on it. You know what?
We absolutely will.
If you ask nice, we'll put whatever bridge you want on there. You want a Kaler? Fine. You want an Evertune bridge? Great. You want a Floyd? Fine. You want a vintage Tunematic? You want a plywood guitar with a titanium post Tunematic? Great. I don't care. Yeah. Whatever you want. Yeah. I'm looking at two guitars hanging up right there that both have all three of them are in fact, they're the only guitars up on the wall right now that I can see on the wall that have pickups mounted. All three of them have covers. and 2 of them are humbuckers.
I see 7 guitars with pickup covers just from where I'm standing.
Yeah. So
yeah, there's 1 Challenger that does not.
Mhm.
Everything else has pickup covers.
So yeah,
this all started 2 weeks ago when 2 of the guitars that we showed off didn't have covers, and those should have covers. Yeah. Okay.
Doug, our good buddy Doug says,
Santinello.
That's right. Sir David or Sir Douglas Dangerous asks, remember when all the rock stars took their covers off? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would to say why on earth you do that would sort of be like, hey, Joe Perry, why on earth did you take the pickup cover off your 59 Les Paul? And why on earth did you replace it with a DiMarzio Super Distortion? Because that's just what you did. I don't make the rules.
Early on, nobody even knew that the bobbins were 2 different colors underneath there.
Yeah.
Because they all had covers.
Yeah. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't.
There you go. Hot Rod Mod number 1.
Okie dokie.
Get more sound through it if it doesn't have that big cover on it.
Dan says pickup covers muffle the tone. Okay. Dylan talks tone, right?
I think he did a video on
only about 5% of the pickups we sell don't have pickup covers. Most people want them. So yeah, if you want them, fine. If you don't, fine. We also have pickups that we just have that some do, some don't. Some don't, and we put covers on them.
Yeah. When we spec the Pure Juice pickup,
we asked for
got
covers.
A bunch, and we got they all had covers, and for the longest time,
all
the guitars had covers.
The last person who built the Pure Juice pickups for us, we wanted covers. We wanted 2 lead vintage wiring, and we wanted covers. And why on earth would you not put 4? Here's why: because splitting the coil on a humbucker, generally speaking, sounds like shit. Phase out of phase sounds like shit. Yeah, it's a stupid modification.
I like wiring that vintage stuff way more than I like wiring 4-conductor wire.
Well, and plus all that push pull crap, that's nonsense. That's foolish and garbage. And you know what? I'm getting
unless you're Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on away from that because
greener and bigger pastures.
Yeah, thank you.
If this pasture could be greener and bigger, that would help a lot.
Lefty O says, actual question: which version of Dylan's humbuckers are going to be in the Challenger Mark? The Challenger X.
The Challenger X.
I think that is a language that we would need to discuss with Dylan, but I believe we're going with his PAF.
Okay.
But the price is the same, I think. So whichever one you want.
Yeah, I think unless it's one of his one-off or limited series things, they're about the same money within $10.
So Lefty, tell you what, tell me which ones you want in your Challenger X, and we'll put those in.
Cool. Yeah.
There is a file. In fact, it's right here. Challenger X orders. So like Lefty actually said he wants his fretboard to be 14-inch radius. So I updated the his invoice. Goes right in the thing here. Bada bing. So
it's got to be different, don't you, Lefty?
Everybody wants to customize that one. And the Challenger X, which by the way is on the website. If you want to get in on the Challenger X pre-order, now is a great time to do so. Through the month of October, we have a deal where you can get your Challenger X in the pre-order for $100 down. So
it's hardly any money at all.
Rest assured, when October is over, we have a guitar that we're going to start the reveal on that guitar tomorrow. It's not done, but the pre-order for that is going to start November 1, I think. What do you think of that? Or do you want to do it a little differently?
I thought we were going to start the pre-order for it sooner than that.
Pre-order just in time for Christmas?
Well, is that the idea? Is that because we need to talk about that.
All right. Well,
we do it.
So tomorrow there's a reveal for tomorrow. Yeah. It's going to be kind of a pre-reveal. Okay. All right. Pre-veal. Let's take a quick super chat from our buddy Mark Stanton, who was out here the other day. He said that he received his new guitar this past Saturday. He's really enjoying it.
Good.
Thank you so much.
I was hoping it would, because I knew I wasn't going to get there Friday. I was hoping.
No, that's kind of a bummer. Yeah.
There were issues beyond our control.
things sometimes happen.
Yeah, so I'm glad he's enjoying it.
Dylan says, Lefty, in answer to your question, Dylan says any non-special run pickups in our line can be used.
There you
So
go.
I'm sure they're all the same price. And
Yeah.
Chris
And,
asks,
Toy models.
just for the month of October for the Challenger X pre-order. Yes. Through October 31st, if you want to get your Challenger pre-order in, Challenger X pre-order, the special price is good through October 31st. Now, what that means is for $100 down, you lock in that introductory price on the Challenger X. We'll still make them, but they're going to be more when after the 31st. So if you want to get one, now's a good time to do it. Or if you want to wait and see what we're revealing tomorrow, you might like that better. I don't know.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up.
We sure do.
We started the Challenger Deluxes.
Indeed,
Actually,
we have
them quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Marched forward on a bunch of those.
Let's take a super chat from Bobby
story.
Dill, who says, I like pickups
my
without
good friend,
covers.
Bobby Dill.
Covers just help muffle my bad playing.
Yeah.
Love the Saturday night special, by the way. Thanks so much, Bobby. So,
he sent me pictures of his
did he paint the Saturday night special? Oh, did he?
No, he did some. He did.
How come he didn't share it with me?
Because remember, it had.
I don't like you, man.
It had the pearl pick guard.
Yeah.
He added more pearl. So we're like, I don't know if somebody's gonna like the pearl or not. Nope, more pearl.
More
when
pearl.
in doubt, more pearl.
So you hipped me to something. So we have a couple of different kind of new guitars that we're building in addition to the standard guitars that we've been doing. And for those of you who are waiting for the next version of the Challenger carve top. For those of you waiting for the Challenger carve top, those are coming very soon. We've got a bunch of those coming up. But we've got the Saturday night special Challenger, and we've got the Challenger X. Of course, we have the regular Challenger, and we have the Challenger Daily, the Challenger Deluxe, Challenger Junior. We make all those guitars, but there's really no way on the website to buy any of them right now, except for the Challenger X and the Challenger Saturday night special. And up till earlier today, you couldn't even buy the Challenger Saturday night special. I had no idea there was no way to buy one. So
when I find that stuff out, I should shoot you an email, and then I think, well, he probably won't see it. So then I'm like, I'll tell him tomorrow.
So now on the website, you can buy now Saturday night special. And and you don't have to worry about what comes. We're like, if you want to customize it, because there's no customizing on it at all.
Nope.
No pre-order on that, but well, we didn't though.
Or the Model T.
No, we didn't
though.
The
Model T.
Yeah. Well, we didn't. We called it the Saturday night special. So anyway, let's see. Let's make a couple. Oh, Black Dog Sheep says, have you thought about a bass in the Challenger style body? We have, and we have
laid it out.
We have even laid it out, and a couple of people have gotten like this close to getting arrested at the face dance bar. No, we've gotten this close to actually putting money down on one. And as soon as someone comes that close to putting money down, then we'll do it. But I do not recommend it. I just don't.
Yeah.
Because the strap button on the upper horn would be quite a bit further back than it would be ideal to have it. Now, if you want one, we're happy to do it. But as of right now, here's the other thing. A lot of people don't know this. I have never had an EB, but I have had an SG bass, and I have had a genuine article Gibson Les Paul bass, carved top and everything. I can tell you that those two guitars, body is absolutely identical to the guitar. The bass version, absolutely, positively identical to the guitar. The Les Paul is 34-inch scale. Mine was anyway. And the SG bass, I'm not talking about the EBO or the EB1 or whatever. Mine was a 30-inch scale. But the bodies were dimensionally identical to the SG and the Les Paul. I don't know if I would need to make the Challenger body a little bigger to fit all the stuff or what scale it would need to be, but yeah. So
yeah, because Challenger's not much bigger than a telly as far as length. And I know when you make a base out of a stock telly body, the bridges
and
all the way back.
There's talk here about, well, move the strap button. Yeah, you could do that.
Move the strap button.
But I frankly, I'm not 100% convinced that's my favorite. I play bass.
Yeah.
And I don't play. I've never built a Challenger bass for me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I don't know how it's going to work. It might be really good. It might be really bad.
We may never have to find out. because
Yeah.
I'm not going to just make one unless somebody says, "Hey, make one."
Yeah. I think you start looking at bases and you start seeing a lot of similarities as far as the distance between the strap buttons.
Yeah.
And how the bass sits on a strap and where the bass sits on a strap in relation to the player. And the narrower you make that, the more centered it is. Well, it's going to be centered on those strap buttons anyway, but
not to mention you can almost anticipate what people are going to say about a guitar design.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going to neck dive.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
You can almost guarantee what people are going to say when you make us something.
Yeah.
And so I've chosen
the neck dive.
How's the neck?
Perfect.
It's awesome.
Neck dives like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JVan231 says, why did you decide to go with a 25.5-inch scale on the Challenger X? That's a great question. I blame
society.
I do too. It made me who I am today. I give credit for that to both Dylan and Chris. And I don't want to say blame. That's not cool. Because Dylan had his Batfish model, and it was that is essentially a Telecaster shaped like a Les Paul, if you will, or a Les Paul with a bunch of Telecaster appointments. And I know that Chris appreciates the Fender designs more than I do. And if it was up to me, I would have said, nope, there's really no reason to ever do this.
Okay.
But you guys convinced me, hey, maybe some people will like that. So we thought, well, let's try it.
Okay.
The other neat thing is we wanted something that would be quick to make. So the best way to get something quick to make is to not make part of it. And what I mean by that is Steve makes the necks for those guitars. Steve at Maximum Guitar Works. Now, when we get those necks, they are not fretted. They're not, but all of the heavy lifting is there. Like they don't have side dots. They don't have frets. They don't have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But and the neat thing is too, you can say, well, okay, here's what it is. They're CNC necks. Okay. And that's fine. But they're Fender, basically they're Fender Telecaster necks.
Tellies with 22 frets.
And we made one with a Challenger body, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I kind of dig this. So it was something that I would have never done if left to my own devices. But because you are kind of a Fender guy, and since Dylan was here, and I'm like, well, let's do a Challenger one and see. So we did, and we liked it. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's why. Yeah. Bobby Dill says PRS had the same problem with their early bass guitars, basically the same body. Yeah, Bobby, the funny thing about that is I have never actually seen a Paul Reed Smith bass, even at the NAMM show. I've never seen anyone play one. Booth. Yeah. I'm sure that they're there, but I didn't see them. Yeah. And I've never and you know what? I'm sure you can rattle off the name of someone who plays one. I don't know who they are, but frankly, I could probably name off a bunch of guitar players right now and probably even tell you what guitar they're the most famous for playing. Yeah. But name half a dozen bass players and the bass that they're most associated with. Ready, Chris? Go. It's a little trickier, right? Yeah. So, in any case, I'm sure there's somebody who rocks the Paul Reed Smith bass. But I don't know who they are. And if you told me their name, I still wouldn't know who they are. That's because I'm old and I just don't know. But anyway. Yep. Alan says he just ordered his Saturday night special. He's stoked. I'm stoked for you, sir. Cool. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. So Chris, we have some stuff that we want to talk about. Oh, Paul Need says, why can't I ever get the top off my asterisk ad nauseum CA glue? I don't know the answer to that.
Because you do like I do. Here's the secret: don't ever put it on after you've opened it. There's no reason to. It doesn't dry up in the bottle. Doesn't seem to. Maybe those little bottles dry up, but yeah, if you put the nozzle on, you end up gluing the nozzle to the top, and then that's a hassle. So I just stopped putting the top on. Maybe you could take a toothpick and
there's a hole. Yeah, I don't know.
But for the most part, in the last video that we did last Sunday, the nozzle had got clogged up. But that's from being not good with the bottle.
K-Sharp didn't even realize that PRS made bases, I guess. And you know what?
Yeah,
he's made them. He's made them. The company has made them on and off for a while. And I think they have some regular, and they maybe even have an SE now.
Yeah. No, I think that's all. That's the only thing that Paul himself does. Actually,
Paul actually makes
all the bases. Yeah, all 4 of them a year.
So, Chris, I had a horrible day on Monday. It was awful. In fact, I threw my hands up in the air and I was yelling and I said, F-U-C-K this place. I'm going home, and I advise you guys to do the same thing. And I just stormed out the door.
Yep.
Not happy. You know where I went?
Flipside, the Great American
Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store. Because one, I needed to get a case to ship a guitar, and the case that we had for it didn't fit. And the other thing was, I always like to commiserate with Ike at Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store, because one, he's really fun. 2, he's not heard all of my dumb whining that day like you and Brandon had. So it was like all new. So I could go and whine and bellyache to Ike. And 3, sometimes I get ideas for live streams from Ike. And this time was no exception.
Okay.
So I want to give full credit to Ike from Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store, for this. I'm in there and we're talking about, somehow or another, we're talking about Relic stuff.
Okay.
And he says, hey, how's come there's no Relic amps? And I'm like, yeah, how's come there are no Relic amps? You would think that the people who buy Relic Fender guitars wouldn't want a brand new amp to go with it. And it's easy to find a picture of an old amp that looks cool and has a bunch of, battle damage.
And it might be even easier to Relic an amp.
And don't say drag it behind your car because you could charge a premium. Why? Well, okay.
You could womp it into a wall or two though, or fake womping. Because really, all the damage to an amp, it's not from playing the amp. It's not from setting it on the stage and playing it, unless it falls off a stand. I have video of that. Mine. You were in the band at the time.
Oh, was I? And it fell off? Oh, I may remember.
It's okay. It didn't hurt it. It was a Fender.
Fenders rule.
Yeah, but all that damage comes from carrying it. So it's usually corner damage and this and that. And the number one thing that I'm going to want in a Relic guitar amp, for the grill cloth to smell like 40 years of cigarette smoke.
That would be a cool one. Or I had a super reverb once that was one like a silver face one from the 70s. And it had a MDF baffle and someone's cat peed on it, and it never didn't smell like cat pee.
That's a good one too. Yeah, cat pee and cigarette, both maybe. Yeah. How much cat pee do you want?
How much?
We have one cat one time, or we have 10 cats 10 times.
Yeah.
Which level of cat pee do you want?
Is there such a thing as a custom shop amp from Fender?
Yeah, I think no, there's not a custom shop amp, but they do some hand wired stuff now.
So there should be if there isn't already, and I hear the furious clicking of fingers on keys. That would be the missed opportunity if Fender doesn't do that, and I don't believe they do.
I don't think they do either.
Relic amps to go with your Relic guitar. Yeah. Let's see what everyone's saying.
Yeah, look, the grill cloth is just the right amount of snagged.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who's snagging their grill cloth, but they're not very good at it. It's obviously fake.
I bet the okay. So something. There's talk of the pin router. Hold on. Let me back up here. Driddle says, "Hi, Driddle. Is it bad that although I'm saving for another class, I kind of want to blow it all and buying the Hotel Coral Essex Sunday Driver?" Yes, it's bad. No, it's not bad.
You know that guitar.
That is a great guitar.
It is.
Steve says, "I was driving, but can I get a set of pickups with no plastic covers over the winding so I can see all the winding?" Fine by me. Yeah.
You can get they make clear bobbins.
Yeah.
So
I've seen those.
You can, yeah.
Let's see. I'm just looking for guys. I'm looking for question marks here, so I know you're asking questions. And I'm probably going to miss some stuff. But yeah. So why would you not want this brings me? Okay, hold on. How do you feel about this, Chris? I already know the answer.
Okay.
How do you feel about this? A guitar that comes pre-distressed. I would say probably pre-dorked up, but lived in versus a finish that is so thin that it wears almost immediately the first time you touch it.
Which would I rather have?
Yeah.
The finish that wears as you play it.
Know how I knew you would say that?
Because I'm not a psychotic.
Well, because our durable thin finish is that finish.
Okay.
This is why, we need to put something on our website that says if you order a TV yellow guitar from us or anything with a durable thin finish and you want it to look brand new all the time, do not order this finish.
Yeah.
We've had a handful of people who are like, oh, the finish is starting to wear. Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Yeah,
it's so unbelievably thin that it's going to wear. If you want more of a hard wearing finish, you need to go with our 73 finish. We need a page on the website that talks about all this stuff. You guys know it. You know it. Even I know it. So
yeah. One of my favorite things about vintage guitars and vintage amps is vintage guitars vary wildly in price.
Oh yeah.
And classic guitars are really, really expensive.
Yeah.
Classic amps, not so much. Amps can get expensive, but compared to the guitar from the same year.
Yeah, that's right.
Close,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a 60 Stratocaster versus a 60 Deluxe or a 60 Bandmaster or something like that. And why is that? Why is it that the amp? Because arguably, I might even actually make the argument that the amp is most of what you hear.
Yeah.
Why is it that the amp is like the stepchild to the whole equation?
Let's Jeffrey Egan says that he thinks Gibson copied us with their new faded series. Well, maybe now, Jeffrey and everyone watching, if you haven't already done so, look around at what people are doing finish wise.
Yeah.
We are but a tiny microcosm of what's happening in the industry, but across the board, satin finishes are a thing. I'm not going to tell you why. Chris isn't going to tell you why, but let me tell you something. It is easier to do those than it is full on gloss. And sometimes they look better. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
I think our 73 finish is the coolest finish that we do.
Yeah, I think it's really neat. I think I started noticing it 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've seen more and more of it, and I've looked at more and more old guitars, and and sometimes you look at an old guitar and there's things that have happened to that guitar over its life. And then you see a guitar and nothing's happened to that guitar over its life. And that's the guitar that I'm kind of trying to chase a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want
the way it looks. I don't want a guitar that somebody was like, oh, this thing needs to be rebuffed, and went at it with a bunch of buff and compound and a rag and turn this beat up thing into a shiny beat up thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that happens a lot.
There are a bunch of questions, you guys. Let's take some of those.
I'm ready.
Mark says he's good at relicking.
Chicken salamander.
Again, I'm just looking for question marks, guys. So RBA Guitar says, would you ever do a video on the selling part of guitar building? Probably not. First of all, you wouldn't want me to do that. You wouldn't want to take my advice.
We could do a how not to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And you have to approach it. The world of selling is much different now than it was 5 years ago. And
what worked for us may not work for you. Or you might go, so if there was no YouTube, there's no shop. You guys know that, right? If you didn't know that, I'm going to tell you, if there was no YouTube for us, there's no shop. Now, I don't know how other guys do it.
Right.
But for us, YouTube worked. Now, YouTube is a cruel mistress. And if you don't like people telling you that you suck, YouTube is not for you. I got a snarky comment today that was from an old video, and it was like, the guitar you got or the neck you got from Amazon looked better than your neck. Your neck looks like it's from a video game. And I'm like, and here's what, what my first thought was? I don't even know what you're talking about. My second thought was, no matter what you or anybody else says, I never, ever said anything bad about your mom or your sister. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. I think there's just some people that kind of want to hurt you.
Yeah. And most of them are probably young people that are bored and they, go,
they think they're funny and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Your neck looks like it's from a video game.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever made a neck that looks like it's from a video game. And, I'd like to think that
Mike says that he can vouch for his both of his TTs with the DTF finish are already looking good. They're already wearing it.
They're already looking good.
Guys, if you
that's
Mike from Evil Burrito. Yeah.
Okay.
Guys, if you don't want to have finish wear on your guitar, don't buy our durable thin finish.
Yeah.
Okay, because it wears quick.
Yeah, there's
not
a lot of finish on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's made of wood.
Yeah. So if you're the kind of guy who's like, I want my guitars to look perfect and shiny and wonderful all the time, that's not the finish for you. We've got a finish for you. We have a customer who is not even in the United States right now, and he's having a real heartache with his finish not being, it's like, and I'm like, dude, that TV yellow finish is not, it's really, really thin. Some people dig that it's really, really thin. Other people want more paint, more clear, more sealer coat. Some people don't want, they want hardly any of it. So if you guys want a thick finish that looks good and will look good forever, our DTF finish ain't for you. Right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you like that thin finish kind of feel, if you like that it wears in quickly, boom, that's the one you want.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think there's some resonance that happens.
Sure. Let's say yeah.
I don't think it goes through the amp, but I think you can feel it against your body.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
we offer many.
Damned if we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. I think what we should have is durable thin finish and rhino lining. Those should be our two finishes. Yeah. This stuff doesn't wear at all.
Yeah. Well, it's rhino liner. Yeah.
It's rhino lining.
Okay. Oh man. So sure. All right, guys, I'm looking for crud. I am looking for question marks, and I'm probably missing some of these things. In the PRS factory, Justin says in the PRS factory tour with Premier Guitar, they use the words durable thin finish. I don't remember if it was Paul himself or the other guy. That's funny
the other guy,
because
the one I watched.
Because it's not like I'm such a wordsmith, but I remember when we came up with durable thin finish, it was
there's a bunch of other things that before
that
it
could have been
finish. Yeah.
And so, and you know what? Maybe Paul Reed Smith as a company had been using that term for decades. I don't know. But when we came up with that, I can attest, I will guarantee you this, on a stack of Bibles, we had no idea anybody else was using that. So if they're using it now,
we should have patented it.
Now, what are you going to do?
Might be too late. Although we can probably prove that we've been using that. That is if She-Hulk has taught me anything, it's that you can go back and prove that you've been using it for a while.
Yep. Okay. Willie wants to know, what is the shape of the Challenger neck carve? Well, sir, it's whatever you want. All of our necks are done one at a time. All of the necks that we make, the Challenger X is done at Maximum Guitar Works. All of the necks that we make, other than that, are done right here. So you just tell me what you want, and we'll endeavor to get it right. But remember, all of our necks are done by hand, one at a time. There's no magic machine that we put it in and do it. We can get close, and that's kind of what when you buy a boutique handmade guitar, that's kind of what that's kind of what it is. You want something that was. We've always endeavored, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, to make things the way that they were done in the factories back in the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, we have the same tools that they had. We use the same techniques that they did. And, you know, so it would sort of be like saying, well, what's the carve on a 1954 Stratocaster like on every single guitar? You don't know.
No.
They're all a little bit different.
Yeah. And one guy posts what his is, and everybody goes, well, that's the way they all were.
They were probably close. Now, what I can tell you is that on the machines that we use, I make the same neck pretty much every time. It's kind of I can tell you that it's right around 0.86 at the first fret and 0.90 at the 12th fret, unless you say I want it thinner or thicker. I can tell you that it more closely resembles a Gibson neck than a Fender neck in terms of curve.
Would you say more of a D shape?
Maybe a little more like a D than a C. Like C. So if you look at the back of the guitar neck, you can't see the fretboard, or you can see just a hair of it.
Yeah. I would say more D than C.
But if you want more carve, fine. The reason I say like a Gibson is because our necks are a little wider than Gibson. So, but yeah, so to say, what are they like? Well, they're whatever you want and whatever you tell me. And if not, they're whatever I come up with. It's the matte
neck, which is usually 8.6 to 9.0 or something.
Because all of our guitars,
they're 8.5.
Yeah. Because as of right now, all of our guitars are made here in the shop by us. Like we don't have any plans to do any overseas production or anything like that. No. So, with the exception of the Challenger X, that's done at Maximum Guitar Works for as long as Steve is willing to do it.
In Elizabeth, Colorado.
That's right. All made in America.
Right down the road.
That's right. The Challenger Custom in TV yellow or aged white. I'm not sure what that means, Chris, but yeah, we can do a Challenger Custom in either one of those finishes. But remember,
custom?
Yeah, so with the inlay and the binding. If you want that, please send me an email. I'll be happy to get back to you and talk to you about that. I think that would be super cool, especially the aged white. We're actually doing one for a carve top in aged white right now, and it's a custom with the blocks and the binding and the headstock binding and everything. So remember, though, if you go with TV yellow, that finish wears fast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Curtis says, what can be done to save binding that is starting to crumble? I have a Gretsch Viking with this problem. Oh, man.
That's that celluloid binding.
Yeah.
And it starts to break apart, and I think it just keeps breaking apart. You could maybe try and reinforce it with super glue or something like that. I wouldn't even like I think it's just going to keep going until there's no more binding. From what I understand, that stuff can take out other stuff too. It can start to corrode so bad that it eats up. other
I
stuff.
would. That is a question. That is a repair question, sir. And as you know, we do not do any repairs. Isn't that right, Chris?
Correct.
We've done some binding repairs with ABS binding on like Les Pauls, where like, you know what happened? My friend Mark said, hey, one of those little nubs broke off on my Gibson where it goes up over the fret. What can we do? And I'm like, well, we can clean it up and we can melt some new binding in there and we can reshape it and it'll look better. You know, or you can, that's what I can do. If you want it to look like it's brand new, we can pull all the binding off and put new binding on. But man, I tell you what, Curtis, if you have that problem, there are guys out there probably who have forgotten more about guitar repair in the last 10 minutes than I will ever know. And they're the ones you really need to ask.
I think once that stuff starts going bad though, it's the beginning of the end. It's like rust.
And it never sleeps.
It does not.
Doc says, do you use a contrasting grain filler for TV yellow? Because I'm finding that doing this is freaking hard to get right. Doc, I tell you what, man.
I thought
TV yellow
when he was here
ain't easy with unless you're using lacquer. Then it's a little easier.
You think?
Yeah.
So I think the secret to TV yellow is don't look up how to do a TV yellow guitar. Look up how to do a limed mahogany finish on a cabinet or something like that, and that's where all the secrets lie. Originally, it was a very, very economical and cheap and fast finish. That's why they used it, not because it looked good on TV. And it's like a whitewash over raw wood with finish over the top of that. That's what it is.
That's why you can see that, and
that's why
some guys like Cower does that TV black where it's a
hair thing.
It's black and it's got silver in the grain, and they call that something. I forget what they call that.
And I don't know how you do that.
You wipe a bunch of stuff in there and wipe it out.
Well, we might actually know more than we think. But TV yellow. We didn't have any real success with TV yellow until we started applying things to the direct raw wood.
Can we see one of those TV yellows, especially that one with the extra hole in it? So our TV yellow, like I was telling you guys earlier, is wildly thin. And it to me matches one of the Gibson TV yellow guitars. It's going to be Driddle is going to, or maybe Doug is going to put this in black and white.
Can you see the grain and stuff like that? I think that's the secret to TV yellow. It's not supposed to be solid, light yellow. It's supposed to be able to see the grain. And I actually have a stereo cabinet that has a limed mahogany finish on it, and it looks very, very much like this. As far as the color and the amount of stuff you can see. Now it's 60 years old now, so the lacquer that they used, we don't use lacquer, has yellowed a little bit on my stereo cabinet, but it's still, this is really, really close to that.
Hey, let's take a super chat from Brad Guitar Miller. He says 8 days and counting. No
8
rhino
days.
Finish, please. That's cool. Super cool.
Yeah, we're gonna set up and spray rhino on everybody's guitars.
Paul says if there's issues with the name of durable thin finish, I'd politely suggest you don't use the word durable. Yeah, maybe, Paul.
I think part of the durable part is that you don't have to reapply it.
It's not like an oil.
It's not an oil finish because that was one of the things that when we were originally concocting this thing, because it's durable. It's just, I mean, it's gonna wear off.
Plus, we don't call it durable thin anymore. We call it DTF.
Yeah. I mean, if you spill beer and stuff, if you abrade it, it's gonna come off.
Yeah. Dom says, how would you suggest cutting the truss rod access opening on the headstock without a beloved pin router? Well, Dom, that is something, sir, that took us lots and lots of time to do. And if you want to swipe ours, there's lots of ways you can do it on a table router. If you want to swipe the Gibson one, maybe you remember in the video that I where I use this spot facer. This is a good way to go. So imagine you put this rod in your truss rod slot, and then this spot face cutter actually cuts a groove, a little thing. Do I have
face?
one? Yeah,
cuts a face.
Yeah, and then you can put your truss rod in there, and it looks great. So that'd be a way to go. Some of this stuff, man. How many truss rod accesses have we had in the last decade? So many.
So on the current one, you can cut the truss rod access cavity while the neck is still flat. You don't have to cut it at an angle.
You should.
In fact, you shouldn't cut it at an angle. But I mean, yeah, whether we cut it when the headstock's already been 7 degreed or when we cut it flat, it's the same. It's the same depth. It's the same everything. So you can actually cut that. You could cut that with a plunge router.
And it's one of those things where as soon as you do one, you'll be like, oh, that's it.
You could cut it with a cable router before. And a template. The pin router is cool because you can see what you're cutting a lot easier. And instead of moving the tool, you move the piece. But everything that tool does, you can do with table routers and plunge routers. It's just a little bit different visually and a little bit different approach to it as far as templates and stuff like that.
Loring says, DTF and acrylic urethane. I think he means is DTF and acrylic urethane.
No.
Well, we have used lots of finishes. In fact, we're building a guitar right now for someone who was prominently featured in Bob, the Richie Valens brothers story, and it's going to have a lacquer finish on it.
Yeah,
because
so
he's
acrylic urethane.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So we use all sorts of finishes.
Yeah, these are industry secrets, Loring, and we're not going to give them away.
Joe says his prostitute is arriving tomorrow.
Yes.
You know what? It's always nice when you have a new prostitute coming to your house.
And I'm just going to say this right now. I'm sorry it doesn't have pickup covers.
Oh, that's right. Although he knew that.
I know he did.
Good Lord. Hey, so all right. So
these beers are too much work.
They really are. Although I like the Modelo.
Another one?
Huh?
Want another one?
No, I think we're almost in May. Yeah. Do we have anything that's not a Modelo?
Yeah.
So that was fun, you guys, and thanks for hanging out with us. We're almost done here. We've got like 15 more minutes, so it's like a quarter of the time. Thanks to everybody. Is there a light of some kind that's not that great big one? Because if there is, that's fine. If not, then I'll just drink it. I'll just be a big boy.
Well, you don't have to finish it.
Yeah. So
not all beers go to heaven.
Hey, Doug Centeniello, if I use a magnetic thin metal on my component cover, will that cause noise? No. When you can get issues is if you make your bridge out of aluminum. That causes an eddy current sometimes. Isn't that your stage name?
That's what I hear. No.
Eddy current?
No. I do have a friend named Eddie Catcher.
It's just as good.
Yeah. But eddy current.
And the way
my nickname is Move It Wide Load.
No, it's not. It's eddy current.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know if it's that. So let's see, guys. If you have any questions for us, this is a great forum to get them answered. We get a bunch of questions about guitar building and stuff on the email and things like that. And I'm like, why don't you tune in on Thursday? And that way we can talk about it.
Did we ever talk about other than the couple of snarky comments that we got during the stream? Did we ever talk about
that one that said it looked like a video game?
Oh, okay.
All right. I would like I've gotten all kinds of emails too. The one particularly good one was who was that wrestler guy who was he had a beard and a great big hair, and he was on when The Rock was on. It was what was his name?
Yeah,
he had an alter. He was like one of the Undertaker's buddy or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, some guy was. What the heck was his name?
Son of a bitch. Just keep talking. And
So
I'll remember
somebody once said, I didn't know that guy built guitars he was talking about. That was actually funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, and sometimes, if it's funny, it's funny. Foley.
Mick Foley. That was
there
I
we
didn't
go.
know Mick Foley made guitars. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I remember my very first YouTube hater. In fact, I remember it so vividly that I made a video called My Very First YouTube Hater. And like sometimes it's like, why are you such a fag? That's a thing that, okay, fine.
Wait, I thought these were comments that you got, not comments that you gave.
No. Let's take a super chat from Doug, who says, looking forward to Fabric Top. Just shipped the fabric today. I am looking forward to Fabric Top too, Doug. That's going to be fun.
It is, yeah. We got a bunch of fabrics, and a guy brought by some the other day. Local guy that's going to be in the class.
Loring says, any upcoming weekend paint classes so I can finish my build and learn your trade secrets? Loring, not until next year. We've got the next, the next workshop that we have, by the way, these are all full. The next workshop that we have is a build a classic fender, and that includes paint.
Mm-hmm. That one's over full.
That one's full to capacity and then some.
Full plus.
The one we have after that is our build a fabric top. That's fairly paint centric, so it's all
that's got a Dylan component in it
and a Dylan component too. So that we won't be doing another weekend paint component until we do our next woodworking workshop, which I believe is
that's the only time that's going to happen.
Yeah, because all the other classes include
most of them have
paint.
some sort of finish component in them.
Mm-hmm.
Really, what you should do, Loring, is come to another full week class, bring your other project, and we'll do both.
Or Loring was talking about coming and filming some stuff, which would be really fun.
That would be cool too. Yeah, and then we could do the
because Loring's cool.
Yeah,
I like that dude. Yeah. Any Dick Edwards shows coming up?
Any Dick Edwards trio?
Look, someone named Richard Edwards.
Yeah, Richard Edwards.
Yeah.
No, we haven't really worked on that. I fear it may never come to fruition.
Sir David Dangerous says April neck through, which would be the next one to do. And he's right. And he'll be there for that. And so will Doc. So that'll be a star-studded event.
That will be. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
So anyway.
Yep. I better start gearing up for that. That's April. That's coming right up.
So yes, it is. Well, it's right
around long term in the short.
Kind of is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So, Chris, we have a reveal tomorrow. Now, it's not a complete guitar. This is a concept, a conceptual. It's not a drawing. It's an actual thing. And I'm very much looking forward to showing you guys that tomorrow.
Yep.
Paul Need says, the kind of troll I loathe most is the channel troll, the guy who ruins the channel and abuses you because you ask questions you're genuinely interested in. Yeah, some of those guys are kind of they're dorks, but yeah. Lefty O says he sent email on the pickup choices, so that's cool. We'll get to you probably tomorrow, sir, because I've got a lot of stuff happening tonight. We are not attending the Great American Beer Fest, but we are going to go to Odyssey Beer Works, the Great American Beer Works, tomorrow night. And I'm looking forward to seeing Chris and Dina from Odyssey and everybody else who's hanging out. I believe there's a band.
The Cromulent. That's the band name.
Oh, that's the band. Oh, okay. I'm like, who's that? What the hell are you talking about?
It's a completely cromulent answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mike says no one has lived until they've seen you on maracas, and he would know because he has.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank all of our other channel sponsors besides Odyssey Beer Works, the Great American Beer Works, like Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store. Guys, if you are in the Denver area and you want to stop by and check out one of the last true American guitar stores in Denver anyway, it's Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store. And they're in their legacy store for the next, they're getting close, dude.
They really are. We've been talking about that.
I know. I've been saying, and I've been saying they're getting close for a long time.
A lot of people probably thought, but they really are. They've made huge strides. As soon as those wheels started to move.
Yep.
And started to be in motion. Things are in motion now. And
speaking of Mike, man, speaking of Mike at Evil Burrito, I am trying to finagle my way into going and hanging out with him in December. I might be back in the Illinois. Okay. I don't know.
All right.
Okay. So Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store, Legacy Store still open, Destination Store coming very, very soon. I'm not
Sooner than later.
I'm not just blowing smoke this time.
No, not this time.
Yeah.
All those other times. Yeah.
And if you aren't in the Denver area or can't make it to the store, their website's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yep.
If you want to just commiserate with Ike about how shitty your day is, Ike's probably had a shittier day than you in these last couple of months, because dealing with contractors can be kind of a pain sometimes. And the city, licensing and permits and stuff. And Ike's been having a rough go of it.
He's getting it done.
He's getting it.
Credit.
He's getting it done. He's powering through. The hell with it.
Killed somebody.
Well, we don't know that he hasn't done that.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Killed somebody.
Well, not giving up. Yeah. Still moving forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing.
I would also like to thank Dan and Calvin at Tonewood Experts. We got boxes and boxes and boxes of wood from Tonewood Experts this week.
And it was all really nice.
Super nice. You guys got to see these carve tops that we've got from those dudes. When you see the guitars that we're going to make with these, you're going to have to wipe the screen off. It's so good. Yeah.
And no, every good looking piece of wood that we have is always from them.
That's right.
Yep.
And if you use
Where'd
code
you get that top.
Yep. Tonewood Experts. If you use code Texas Toast 15 at checkout, you get 15% off. If you're looking to save another 15%, you might want to check out Bitterroot Guitars. We got a big box of truss rods from John and Cheryl at Bitterroot this week.
Yeah.
Code TXTOAST at checkout, and you get 15% off there too. So that's cool.
Yep.
Also, some of the nicest people in the world. Bar none. You know who else are some of the nicest people in the world, Chris? You and me.
Yes.
That's
and
right.
a couple of my favorite people is Dylan and Leslie.
That's right. From Dylan Pickups. Dylan, not so much, but Leslie, super awesome.
I like to think of them as as one combined unit.
They really are.
They don't move around as one combined unit.
They do in a module.
Well, yeah, but not every hour of every day.
Yeah.
They're not attached to the hip. But yes.
Link in the description below too, guys. If you want to buy Dylan pickups because you love the sound and you want pickups made by a guy, it's his name on the pickups.
Yeah.
He's the guy winding them.
Yeah.
You pointed that out to me. And that's a big deal. That's
a big deal. And I mean, if you need any reason other than I like the guy and I like his pickups, then there you go. You know, I mean, you can't put a price on that.
If you throw that, I think it's cool flag. That's what you do.
Yeah. And they are cool, and they're cool people, and it's fun to support. It's fun and cool to support people you like, right? In your entire life. I don't want to support things that I don't like, people that I don't like, all because I'm going to get a bargain or I'm going to get a deal or whatever.
It's fun to like Dylan stuff too.
Better. Yeah. I mean, can you buy pickups for a couple bucks less? Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Is it as cool?
No.
Do you like Dylan? Yeah.
Yep.
I do like Dylan.
Another one of our sponsors is my friend in Queensland, Australia. And his book, the how to earn a living in woodworking, is available in his electronic form. And it's in link in the description below too. So if you guys are wondering, like, how do I make a living selling stuff? I would urge you to check out the book in e-form in the link in the description below and check it out. And we get a little taste of that too.
Yeah. And for the guy that was asking about industry is industry and selling is selling. And that might be a good place to start.
Chris, we have a few more minutes.
Okay. I changed the clock today, so it's a little closer.
Okay. And this is a great one to end on. Actually, this would be a great one to talk an hour about. Is there anything you are still refining, perfecting in your guitar designs? Well, actually, Eric, yes. There is very little that we are refining and perfecting in our Challenger design, unless you mean the carved top version, which completely changed how we did everything on the flat top version, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like neck pocket's different. Neck is different. How we do all the other stuff, completely different.
Yeah.
How do you mount the bridge? Because now it's carved. And yeah. So, so yes, we are. We are constantly working on double cutaway designs. And if one day I might get a double cutaway design that I really like, and maybe that will be a production model.
Yeah.
But until then, there is a shed in my backyard that is to capacity of stuff that will never see the light of day unless it's a fire.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we're always working on processes, and I think as soon as you get complacent, you start getting sloppy. So we're always working on new ways to do this or new ways to do that, or better ways to do this and better ways to do that. We've
got less than a minute, guys. I want you to go check out Dylan Talks Tone at his follow up to the hour, his last hour of Primetime Guitar Live. Thanks for hanging out with us. You guys, sorry to cut you off, Chris.
Okay.
I know you probably are used to it. So, guys, we will see you tomorrow for a super cool reveal. Talk to you then.